President Trump is inside a New York courtroom for opening statements.
For the first time in history, a jury heard testimony in a criminal case against a former American president.
Prosecutors accused the former president of a criminal conspiracy and a cover-up to influence the election.
It's not only unprecedented, it is so extraordinary on so many levels.
Over the course of 5 weeks, Donald Trump stood trial in New York City,
Donald Trump walking into the Manhattan
facing
court.
34 felony charges related to a 2016 hush money payment made to adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
This is a trial that should never happen. It should have been thrown out a long time ago.
Hush money payments in themselves aren't illegal, but the former president is accused of falsifying business records to hide his reimbursement of the payments to his former attorney Michael Cohen, in hopes of hiding damaging information from voters days ahead of the 2016 election. Trump argues the alleged reimbursement payments were legitimate legal expenses pursuant to a retainer agreement. Testimony began in the Manhattan court on April 22, 2024.
Former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker, the first witness in the historic criminal hush money trial against former President Trump,
Calling him an alleged co-conspirator in the plot to silence Stormy Daniels and others.
The former media executive testified that in a 2015 meeting with Trump and Cohen, Pecker agreed to be the eyes and ears of the Trump campaign and would notify Trump's team of any salacious or negative stories about Trump so the stories could be bought and then killed, a practice known as catch and kill. Pecker said that in the end, his company, American Media Inc., made 2 payments to help the Trump campaign, including a $150,000 payment to Karen McDougal for the exclusive rights to her story of an affair with Trump, which Trump has denied. On April 26th, the prosecution called their second witness, Rona Graff, Donald Trump's longtime executive assistant. Graff was asked if she created a contact for Stormy Daniels in the Trump Organization's computer system. She replied, "I believe I did." When asked if she had ever seen Daniels at Trump Tower, she said she had a vague recollection of seeing her in the reception area. On day 9 of the trial, Judge Juan Marchand ruled that Trump had violated the limited gag order he was under, which prohibited him from making public comments about jurors, lawyers other than Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, potential witnesses, court staff, and their families.
To test the judge in his criminal trial, Trump now having to pay $9 grand in fines for violating that gag order.
At the end of the second week of testimony, former advisor to President Trump, Hope Hicks, took the stand. Notably, Hicks testified that Donald Trump told her Cohen made the hush payment to Stormy Daniels on his own. But Hicks noted that would have been out of character for Cohen. After testifying that Trump told her he preferred the news of the hush money payment come out after the election, Hicks broke down on the stand. When court resumed on May 6th, Judge Juan Marchand again held Trump in criminal contempt on a 10th count of violating the gag order, the judge threatening jail time if the former president continued to flout the court's ruling.
From the paper trail, and now to the porn star.
All eyes were on Stormy Daniels as she testified in court on the 13th day of trial. Daniels recounted her first time meeting Donald Trump and detailed her alleged sexual encounter with him, often at the objection of his attorneys. Trump denies the encounter. Daniels testified that the $130,000 payment for her story was delayed, which she attributed to Donald Trump delaying payment until after the election. Over Daniels' 2 days of testimony, the defense motioned for a mistrial twice. The judge denied both motions. Former White House aide Madeleine Westerhout became emotional speaking of her time working in the White House. Westerhout was asked if Trump would sign checks without reviewing them. She answered yes, but earlier noted that Trump typically read things before signing them. And on May 13th, prosecutors called their star witness, former attorney to Donald Trump, Michael Cohen.
Michael Cohen, as we've talked about a lot, will be a central witness here. Of course, he does have some credibility issues.
Cohen testified over 4 days, claiming that Donald Trump directed him to pay off Stormy Daniels, that Cohen should front the money and be paid back, and said it was Trump who encouraged Cohen to delay the deal past the election, a critical element for prosecutors. Cohen says he required approval from Trump on the payment, and that Trump signed off on the reimbursement scheme just days ahead of his inauguration, referencing an October 24th call where Cohen says he spoke to Trump about finalizing the plan. The defense challenged that, claiming the October 24th call was about a prank caller who had been harassing Cohen. On Monday, May 20th, the prosecution rested their case, and the defense called Michael Cohen's one-time legal advisor, Robert Costello. Costello testified that Cohen told him numerous times that Trump knew nothing of the payment to Stormy Daniels. In all, the jury heard 16 days of testimony from 22 witnesses and saw nearly 300 exhibits in the criminal trial of Donald Trump. After summations, the jury will decide if the prosecution has proven their case.